All right, I do see that live box. We do have a few attendees with us now. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. The time is now 5:03 p.m. and we are ready for our regular scheduled December 8, 2022 Board of Education work session. All right. Miss Rambide, could you please do our roll call for us?
Yes, and may I correct you, please? It is a combined work session board meeting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. This is a
Okay,
combined session.
Ms. Frazier?
Hey,
I'm hearing President Williams again. Is anyone else hearing him? It's repeating.
Are you here, Ms. Frazier?
Yes, here.
Okay, Mrs. English is joining. Mr. Williams,
I am here.
Ms. Salazar is not available tonight, and Mrs. Wills Hill. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Norma. All right. And as our items state, item 1.2, our Pledge of Allegiance and a reading of our mission statement. I will just recite that myself and you can follow along with me. I don't see where we have, I don't know any other way to do that on a remote session. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I see there may be a delay with some of the sound that's coming back from my end. I'll also read our mission statement. The mission of HSD2 is to graduate college and career ready students with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors to personally succeed and contribute to the common good. Moving along to item number 2, to adopt our agenda. Has everyone present been able to review the agenda items?
Yes.
All right, and I do see Regina's in the chat. All right, and I will make a motion myself to approve that agenda since we don't have any audio for Miss English this evening. I, Corey Williams, move to approve the agenda items as stated.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Ms. Frazier. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Right, and as I see Miss English is still with us, I will take her aye as well. Moving on to item number 3, matters reserved for board action. Item 3.1, mill levy certification. We have our very own Miss Shelley Becker. How are you this evening?
hello, good. Thank you, Board of Education. Okay, let me pull up the PowerPoint here, get us going.
All right, very nice.
Okay, great. Thumbs up that everybody can see. Good evening, Board of Education. We are here tonight to present.
Shelley, can you hold on? I don't know if Miss Frazier, can you see?
No, I can't.
Corey, can you see it?
I can see it, but I am on 2 laptops right now, so I have it in one place and
Okay, I'll go and get my other one. But go ahead, please.
Good to go ahead, Wendy?
Yeah, you can proceed.
Okay, tonight we have our annual certification of the 2022 mill levy. At the end, we have a resolution for the board to adopt in order to move this forward. So our mill levy, our annual process, all school districts go through to adopt by board resolution the annual mill levy certification. Tonight, we're coming before you the 2022 mill levy certification for collection in next year, 2023. So again, just
Ms. Becker, sorry to interrupt, but can we let the president allow Ms. Wills Hill to join us and let the record state what time she joined our meeting?
I do see her in the chat there as well as her video. The time is now 5:09 p.m. and Mrs. Wills Hill has joined us this evening. Could you give us a mic test, please, Miss Wills Hill?
Yes, this is Mrs. Wills Hill. Can everyone hear me?
Very nice, very nice. And let's see, we still have not lost Miss English as well. So we have 4 board members. Miss Becker, you can proceed.
All right, we are still here at the beginning, so all is good. Tonight we're here to certify our mill levy for 2022 for collection in fiscal year 2023. As always, it's good to have a reminder our legal compliance, Colorado state law, requires all boards of educations to certify to our county commissioners within the next week. So our mill levy, we're going to talk through this briefly tonight, is based on our most updated assessed valuation information that's provided by all counties in late November. Okay, I'd like to focus on this slide here. Here we have a 2-year comparison. So again, I'll gravitate towards the top. Our net assessed valuation here at Harrison School District 2, $826 million. You see that number in the middle column, top number. It's always good to do a year-over-year comparison. To your right, you'll notice it was only a much smaller increase in our assessed valuation of our property over the prior year. Last year, we had over a 19% increase in the assessed valuation within our property in our district. This year, as you can see, not even 1%. So that again is attributable, showing to just a slower economic effect of our assessed valuation. So tonight for our property year 2022, we will be certifying to our taxpayers a total levy of 40.799. And again, the main components of the mill levy certification, we have our general fund, which is inclusive of our fixed mill levy override at $5.75 million. And then we have our bond redemption mill levy, which you see listed here as well. So in total, our total levy that we certify tonight is for collection of next year in the amount of $33.7 million. I want to take a moment on this to break that down for our taxpayers. Good news. Our taxpayers here will see, while small, we'll take it what we can get, a decrease in their property tax payments on behalf of Harrison School District 2. So what you see here, there's 2 pieces that really fall into that. The main one being there was a Senate bill this past year that allowed for a 2-year reprieve of the assessment rate on residential property. It's a 2-year timeout, which where you can see by the orange arrow, 6.95%. Prior to that, the assessment rate on all residential property, 7.15%. So when you look on for our tax base, based on 100,000 of actual value, last year, $293 per 100,000. This year for collection, next year, what we're certifying tonight, $283 million. or $283, sorry. So what that is to say, our certification, the work we're doing here in our district, there will be a no tax increase. In fact, our taxpayers will see a bit of a small decrease. So that's good news. Here again, just like to show, this is our 5-year comparison of our mill levy. Just a reminder for all of us, back in 2018 and into 2019, where we see our bond mill levy. That is our current debt structure, where we had a higher amount up front, and then is that over time, our bond to payments, called our wrapped debt schedule. So again, you can see that also is a corresponding amount. Again, our bond mill levy that we're certifying tonight is to pay for the payment of our general obligation principal and interest payment for next year. So this is just kind of a good pictorial just to see where we have been over the past couple of years. It's always good to compare to our neighbors just to see what else is going on within our community. So I think here, as we look at our neighboring school districts, you can see if we were to look at our override, which is the mill levy override, you see some very difference amongst our colleagues here. Other than Fountain with a 5.0 mill levy override, we are next smallest at 7. With that, you can really see a mill levy overrides, right? The purpose is continuing for operational type of expenditures. So not to go unnoticed when you look at Colorado Springs at almost 21 mills, look at Falcon, Academy, Widefield, even Cheyenne Mountain. So again, this is just meant just as a comparison. Good to see what's going on within our larger community. Then with that, taking it one step larger, expanding outside of Colorado Springs, the school districts that we would compare to by a comparable size, meaning number of students. And again, looking at where we sit between override and bond, you can really see some other districts when you look at Westminster 50, which is up in Adams County, or Littleton School District in Arapahoe County, some differences, and also to show where those districts that may have had bond elections in more recent years. So again, we're very brief tonight. This is intended just to keep us all on our toes, is to certify the mill levy to El Paso County on or before December 15th. It's also certified to Colorado Department of Education as well. Some things coming up. Uniform mill levy has not gone away. More conversations on that coming up. And district considerations for us as well, as we look to have discussions or thoughts around our own mill levy override and what may a mill levy override election look like. So any questions, thoughts, comments? Happy to entertain any questions.
All right, very nice, Ms. Becker. A bit of good news for the constituents, a little less on the property tax in the future, so that'll be nice to hear. Michelle, did you have any questions? I know I don't have video from you anymore. I believe Ms. Frazier
no.
said no.
Everything seems to be in order as per usual. I appreciate all the hard work that Shelley Becker puts into even just the visual for us to clearly understand how this whole process works. So I have nothing further to add.
Right, very nice. And I did see Ms. Frazier say no, so we will move right along to item 3.2. And this is our resolution that I will read in its entirety. Give me just a moment. All right, here we go. Harrison School District 2 Mill Levy Certification Resolution. Whereas pursuant to Section 22-40-102 Colorado Revised Statutes, on or before December 15th, 2022, the Board of Education of the Harrison School District 2 shall certify to the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County the amounts necessary to be raised from levies against the valuation for assessment of all taxable property located within the school district for the general fund and the bond redemption fund for the current fiscal year. And whereas the El Paso County Assessor has provided to the Harrison School District 2 the 2022 certifications of valuation and written notice to the school district of refunds and abatements as of August 1st, 2022. And whereas under applicable Colorado law, including the provisions of section 39-10-114 Colorado Revised Statutes, the Board of Education of Harrison School District 2 shall adjust its mill levy as determined under the Public School Finance Act of 1994, Section 22-54 and 101, etc. Sequence Colorado Revised Statute to collect revenues lost through previous years, abatements, and refunds. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Harrison School District 2, El Paso County, herewith authorizes and certifies to the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, State of Colorado, the total amount of $19,268,763 to be raised from a meal of 23.325 meals, consisting of a standard levy of 15.720 meals pursuant to the Public School Finance Act of 1994. 6.961 meals approved by voters as meal levy overrides, and 0.644 meals for abatements and refunds against the net valuation of assessment in the amount of $826,099,180 for all taxable property located within the boundaries of the school district for the general fund of the school district for the fiscal period beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education of Harrison School District 2, El Paso County, Colorado, herewith authorizes and certifies to the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, State of Colorado, the total amount of $14,435,257 to be raised from a meal levy of 17.474 meals against the net valuation of assessment in the amount of $826,099,180 for all taxable property located within the boundaries of the school district for the bond redemption fund of the school district for the fiscal period beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Board of Education be and he is hereby directed to forward the certification for each fund by a copy of this resolution to the Board of County Commissioners for El Paso County, State of Colorado, approved this day, this 8th day of December 2022. And that document will need our signatures as well, Ms. Wills Hill.
I can definitely run in there on Monday to get that approved, unless you wanted to do the electronic version, Norma, in which you should have my signature.
Yes, I
There'll
do
be
have your,
There'll be a request in action sent to you just to leave a paper trail for that signature, Ms. Wills Hill. But yes, those things can be taken care of that way.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
All right. We'll move right along to item number 4, Superintendent's Report. Item 4.1, updates from Dr. Berhansel and Dr. Claudia.
Before moving on, President Williams, you all need to have a vote on that resolution.
My apologies. Ms. Norma, could you use a roll call for that vote for the approval of that?
yes, sir. Mrs. English, Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
and Mrs. Wills Hill.
Here.
Okay. The motion passes. President Williams.
Just to go back
Alright.
and clarify, Mr. Williams made the motion, but I didn't hear a second before we went to vote.
I
I
believe the
second. I second.
response. Okay. All right. So, motion made by myself, second by Mrs. Frazier.
And then-
And
Norma, you're gonna
Those-
need to do the vote again after that because we just got through the second.
Thank you. Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mrs. English, Mr. Williams,
yes.
Mrs. Wills Hill.
Yes.
The motion passes, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Norma. A little rocky this evening. We'll get through it. All right. Moving right along to item number 4, Superintendent's Report. Item 4.1, updates from Dr. Berhansel and Dr. Claudio.
So before Dr. Claudio starts, just to connect what we're going to talk about for you all, he's going to give you an update on enrollment, and that ties to all of our reports, as that's why we're here, as our kids. And then he's also going to speak to some unique recruiting efforts that he and his team are putting together and actually happening next month. And so I'm really looking at tying to our human resource OEs that really look at personnel and making sure our kids have the best teachers in front of them. So without further ado, Dr. Claudio.
And I think we have you muted.
You're muted,
Dr.
Mike.
Claudio.
Of course I am. I put the camera on thinking it would do all the talking for me, but clearly it's not. So let me share my screen. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Very nice.
And so again, we'll do a quick update of our October count and our student enrollment for the 22-23 school year. And so what you'll notice is HSD2 proper, we're at 8,834 students. That includes Thrive Homeschool Academy and our CPP students. With our charters, we're 4,224 students for a total of 13,058 students. When we compare to last year, that brings us down to about 230 fewer students than we had last year. And we're talking about HSD2 proper, not with the charters. One of the things that we were able to do with Sharon Frush, who did a transition year from leaving Strathmore Hills, she was able to call families to make sure that they were returning back to Harrison School District 2. And in those phone calls that she was making to our parents, what she realized and some of the comments that they were providing her was kids and parents and families were not leaving because of Harrison School District 2 schools. They were leaving Colorado Springs, and they were leaving Colorado Springs because the cost of living just became too much. Now, we did lose some of our families to D11, but that's because they were moving in with other families in order to be able to afford the cost of living. But for the most part, they were leaving Colorado Springs because it just became too expensive. The other piece that started being part of this was transportation became a huge issue for our families as well. And so those two external factors really is what caused the 230 fewer students. We also know that our charter schools were down a little bit this year, and I've included the enrollment over the past 2 years. So you'll see in 2021-22, we had a gain of 34 students, but in 2020-2021, and we all know that that was our big COVID year, we had a negative 454 students leave the districts. Now, I know that doesn't shine a good light on where we're at with the district, but we've got some great trends here. We kept 75% of the students from Pikes Peak Elementary School and Strathmore Hills Elementary School. We also know that we kept 90% of our fifth graders, and that data was verified through Scott Weldon, who is really our data guru. And so he was able to share that information with us, which is huge because we know that in the past we have lost a lot of our fifth graders into our middle schools. And that's why I believe that our K-8s are doing well. Our families realize that we need those K-8s, and so we're providing those K-8s, and we've seen an increase in our K-8s. So that's been a positive trend. But more importantly, we have the largest class of freshman students right now in our high schools. If you remember last year when I did this presentation, our highest gain last year was in the high schools as well. So our high schools got some great things going on. Our community is seeing that, and that's where we're seeing our gains. So again, that's a quick snapshot of our October count. Any questions?
Very nice to see that our largest class is the incoming freshman, and I did see your hand there, Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Very nice to see we're chugging along, I should say. It's always nice to have a good freshman body. That freshman class is always a good indicator of future success because we're going to have them the longest. So with all the good things that we got going on here, I'm sure we'll be just fine. You can go ahead, Ms. Frazier.
Thank you. Dr. Claudio, can you tell us how much the loss of 230 students, how does that equate in dollars and cents?
Let me get my calculator out, ma'am, and I can give you.
You don't have that right on the top of your head?
Not because I have a calculator. And it's just over, and Kelly, Shelley, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's just over $2 million.
Okay.
And just so you all know, as the board, we had looked at a declining, we thought we would decline around 200. So that's what we were budgeting around. So we saw this coming. Another thing, and I don't think Dr. Claudio mentioned it, but as a state, we're declining in births. And so when you have less births, you have less kindergartners. And then as they matriculate through the grades, it declines enrollment. And so interesting, most school districts are seeing a decline across the grades. We are not. We are seeing our decline really hit birth rates in our kindergarten and first grade, but our high schools and middle schools are actually staying steady for middle and increasing for high school.
Thank you.
All right, very nice, very nice.
All right, so then we'll talk about something that is part of our goal to make sure that we have enough teachers to, I don't know if you can see the slide here.
There it goes, it's coming
There
back.
it goes. Okay, perfect. So one of the things that we're trying to do is make sure that we have enough teachers to provide our kids the education that they need. Last year, we were able to recruit 8 teachers from the Philippines, and we brought them in, and Wendy Godwin did a fantastic job in supporting our new teachers. And so I was reaching out to Dr. Ligaya Avenida. She is our point of contact in order to get teachers from the Philippines to our school district. And so we're going to the Philippines to attract some teachers. And the reason we're going to the Philippines is because right now we know between the local numbers and the national numbers, there is about a 30% shortage of teachers. And the only way we can get those teachers in is if we go to them, and that is going outside of the country to bring them into our district. Recently, our job fairs have not been producing enough candidates to apply for positions in our school district. And we know that virtual job fairs have not been working out for us. I have been on virtual job fairs all day and maybe have had one person show up or had 2 or 3 scheduled and they wouldn't show up at all. And so that was kind of a waste of time.
Resources as well, yeah.
Yes, yes. And so the current trend in hiring teachers is that folks are going abroad to bring them in. Adams 14 is sending a team of their HR folks to go to Costa Rica to recruit teachers. We have other districts that are reaching out to other organizations to get teachers into their district because, again, locally and nationally, we're not producing enough teachers. There just isn't enough interest going into the teaching profession. We know that we have a quality pool of applicants when we go to the Philippines or we recruit from the Philippines. The 8 that we recruited this year had a minimum of 5 years of teaching experience up to 11 years. When we interview these applicants in January, we're going to vet all of the candidates that we interview, which means we're going to get the cream of the crop. I know folks are thinking, well, you're going to the Philippines, how much is that going to cost? I'll share with you kind of cost benefit analysis of why this trip to the Philippines makes the most sense. If I go to a job fair in Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, by the time we pay airfare, lodging, rental car, that's about $1,500, $1,600. If I get one person from that job fair, it'll cost me $1,500 to bring that teacher back. Our goal is to bring back 55 teachers from the Philippines. Right now, we're just a little over 15,000 in airfare for the team that is going. When we come back with the with the 55 teachers, the cost per teacher for this trip is going to be about $325. So it is a great benefit to the district. Our partnership with Dr. Avenida has been phenomenal. In fact, she is paying for our hotel stay in the Philippines. So we don't even have to cover that because we've got such a great relationship with her. The team that's going will be Linda Donaldson, Kelly Moore, Hannah Dykeman, Phil Herfindahl, Miss Olson, who we just recruited from the Philippines. She's going to be one of the members interviewing to make sure we bring back, again, quality people, but she's also going to be the face of the Philippines and Harrison School District 2 to say this is a great place to work. Again, the goal is to bring 55 teachers for the 23-24 school year. The goal is to bring them in April, May timeframe, so that way they can participate in summer school, they can co-teach in summer school. We can talk about some cultural differences and then really start bringing them in slowly through the New Staff Institute. So when they start in August, they're already accustomed to the Harrison School District 2 way. We're also on a very tight schedule. We do not want anyone to think that we're going over there and having a vacation. We fly out on January 18th at 6 o'clock in the morning. We land the next day in the Manila, Philippines at 10:05. That is a 25-hour flight. We debrief on Friday. We interview anywhere from 75 to 100 candidates on Saturday and Sunday. The interviews will go from 8:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night. Once we're done with the interviews on Sunday, we're going to make sure that all the paperwork is taken care of, make sure that the ones who we've offered contracts are ready to go, make sure to answer their questions. That'll be on Monday. We leave on Tuesday, January 24th. That is a 26-hour flight coming back, and then we'll be back in Colorado Springs, obviously 26 hours later. One of the great things about this particular program, it is going to allow us to branch out. I was on the phone today with a company called Cultural Vistas, and what we want to do, and I wouldn't be doing my job as a member of HR or even a member of the Equity Council if we are not still trying to look for teachers of color. So in that meeting today, I specifically asked, what's the possibility of getting teachers from Africa? And the lady that I spoke to said it's very possible, We can get teachers of color from the Caribbean as well. And so our goal is going to start tapping into that resource, because again, we don't produce enough teachers of color. And by using this opportunity through the J1 visas, we're going to be able to bring teachers of color to our district. And so that is, that's a lot in a very short time frame. And so I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
All right, that's all very exciting information. We're going to have an international liaison to the Philippines, it sounds, with Miss Oysen there. And I would love to hear some of the projections and numbers for trying to recruit some teachers from the great continent of Africa.
Yes.
That would be amazing. Does anyone have anything else to add there? Go ahead, Ms. Frazier, I see you there.
Thank you. I have two questions. One, Dr. Claudio, did we offer these potential candidates any incentives that would make them want to stay? I know they're coming over on J1 visas. How long are they permitted to stay here? And I heard you use the word contract. So is that legally binding? Will they stay a full year? Will they stay 2-3 years?
Oh, so with the J1 visa, that's a great question, ma'am. Through the J1 visa, they're here for 3 years. If they want to stay longer, there's other ways that we can provide them the opportunity to get an H-1B visa. But also they can fall in love and get married here in the United States as well. And so that contract with us is going to be a 3-year contract that we're going to have them here. And of course, if they find other ways, and we will support them to find other ways to stay here through the regular application for an H-1B visa, we'll be able to do that. But one of the things that we are offering as an incentive, we're looking at supporting them with a $1,000 stipend to help pay for their visa.
Very nice.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just really pleased to hear the direction of recruitment, and I also am amazed at the creativity and how we are going about doing this. I was just in the CASB on last week, and I think everyone is in the same boat as far as teacher recruitment and having to rebuild capacity. So these are just things that I'm very excited to hear and learn more about as we get closer to that date, and even just to track the progress of this. So anyway, kudos to you and everyone that has worked so hard to achieve this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're going to have to add it to our list of sayings. I stated when I had the honor of receiving the Young Mayor's Leaders Award behind Dr. Berhansel in the same category. And I used a quote from my university, and it was, "Tell them we are rising." And I said to the rest of Colorado, we are Harrison and we are rising. And now we can say we are global as well. So that is going to be, this district is truly phenomenal. We are evolving in ways that no one can imagine. And we're doing bigger and better things every day, every week, every year. It's amazing. Very, very nice. Thank you for your hard work, Dr. Claudio. I know you are meticulous in making sure it is quite perfect, and I appreciate the itinerary for that Philippines stay.
Yes, sir.
All right, we will move right along to item number 5, monitoring board performance, our annual work plan. Go here. Now, I do recall we had a board meeting that is, I'm sorry, a board retreat that was scheduled for January. I did reach out to all of our members to see what might be best for them, because that's a very bad weather week for us traditionally. I got a few yeses to making that retreat virtual. Only one person stated that they wanted to push it out a little bit further, but I do believe majority said that they could make that board retreat that first week of January. Are there any other views on that particular meeting? And I do believe some of the agenda items that would be added to that meeting are a discussion and revision of our remote policy, remote meeting policy. We'll have a look at that. I believe Ms. English will be bringing some talking points for that particular agenda item. We will also be discussing a communications board. Ms. Wills-Hill, am I saying that correct?
Actually, that would be
Communications plan.
implementing a communications plan for the board. And that's, at the request of additional resources from our communications department.
Gotcha. Okay. And we will be looking to address us getting out into the public a bit more to show the work that we are doing because it is great and we want the people to know. Were there any other items that we might be thinking about adding to that agenda in January?
Mr. Williams, you all need to discuss new student reps coming from Sierra as Nyasia will be graduating, and you usually in January start doing the recruitment at the school.
Yes, we will. Let's see about getting a few dates available the first 2 or 3 weeks in January so that we can get over to Sierra High. I know we've talked about it in the past, but it's never come to fruition of if we wanted to expand the number of board members, of student board reps, I'm sorry, to sit in those seats. If there's any talking points there, we can discuss those. And the reason for that discussion is because traditionally students either luck falls in their favor and they're a sophomore about to be a junior and the junior is leaving, or I'm sorry, the senior of the opposite high school is leaving. And so we'll be looking for a sophomore from Sierra to replace Miss Ali when she graduates. That's to possibly give more opportunity to a few more students who may not be in that category of sophomore. Okay.
So can I
Yes, Dr.
clarify, Mr. Williams, just on the 6th, is it remote or in person, and what is the time? And do you want Mrs. O'Brien to join us because communication plan is going to be part of that conversation? That was a lot of questions, sorry.
No. You're fine. I believe majority of us went with remote, and so we should go ahead and make that a remote meeting. I did talk to Miss Linda Dawson with the Aspen Group, and she would be okay with that as well. Let us also make that time maybe, let's do 8 in the morning. That's usually a good number for everyone. I don't think we will need that retreat all day, though Miss Dawson has asked for a day and a half. I don't think anyone's schedule will permit that, and it's kind of offset by a few of us. So we'll go from probably 8 to 2. I believe we can get through some of those agenda items that I kind of threw out there for a few ideas there. Let's see here.
And what
Yes,
day of the week is that?
That is a Saturday, I believe.
Saturday? Or is it a
Is that
Thursday?
Friday?
It's a Friday.
Friday?
Friday. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I know that may be, that may clash with one of our board members, but we will be able to fill them in. Let's see here. All right. If no one has anything else to add, we can
I just
move
have
right
one
along.
thing, Mr. Williams.
Oh. Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. O'Brien, do you have access to talk?
Yes,
With the
I do.
families?
I
Can
do.
you share about what's happening right now at Family Success Center?
Yes, thank you for your patience. We are awaiting our last 22 donor drop-offs. We have adopted 234 families, and we are amidst mounds of wrapped festive gifts and bikes, and it is truly 2 of the best days in the district. Families will pick those gifts up on Monday and Tuesday, and we are super excited. This has been a great community outreach.
I would just encourage the board, if anyone's available Monday or Tuesday, stop by.
I was just about to ask, are there
It's
any
just
time
amazing.
slots?
You don't have to sign up. You can just stop by. It's, like she said, best days of the year. It's exciting to see our families getting their needs met. And it's all the family. It's not just kids. It's grandma, it's auntie, it's single dad, mom, whoever it is. The whole family is getting a special holiday.
We're at the Family Success Center, formerly Pikes Peak Elementary, and we'd love for you to join us. We'll be here from 7:30 a.m. to about 6:30 p.m.
Very nice. Well, yes, I'll definitely have to stop by on both days to give you guys a little time to get out of the cold out there, waiting on those families to pull up. So I will definitely see you guys on Monday and Tuesday. Great things happening in Harrison School District too. All right, we have, let's see here. Item number 6, public comment. Did anyone sign up for public comment? I know there is a process to doing that when we are virtual. Ms. Norma, do you have anyone?
No, sir, I did not.
Very nice. And so we will move right along to item number 7, and I would just need a motion. I'll make that motion myself. Mr. Williams, do move to adjourn.
I second the motion.
Very nice motion by myself, Mr. Williams, and second by Mrs. Wills Hill. All of those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very nice. And I do thank everyone for joining us this evening. Our 2 extra attendees, I do thank you for being with us as well. And everyone have a good rest of your holidays. We won't see you guys until next year. So you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Good night.